Dillon, New York, the Smithside Development, Tamco, number 91, the Franklin Flyer, Billy Decker. And alongside of him at Boyertown, Pennsylvania, the Conestoga Valley Custom Kitchens, Terry Fosnock, owned number 2A, Mike Gooler. Fourth row to the inside, driving out of East Corinth, Vermont. In the Gage Lawn Care and Landscape Gray Electric, number 215 is Adam Pearson. And alongside of him, he drives out of Whitney Point, New York, the Mid-State Recycling RKR Racing, number 58M is Marshall Hurd. Fifth row to the inside of Hellertown, Pennsylvania, the Hoffman Discount Parts, Superior Auto Service, number 27 is Doug Snyder. And alongside of him out of Dwaynesburg, New York, he drives in the Mickles Automotive, Witz Roofing, number 2, RJ, it's Ronnie Johnson. Sixth row to the inside, driving in the Next Generation Roofing, number 26 out of Ballston Spa, New York, is Derek McGrew Jr. And alongside of him, out of North Bennington, Vermont, the Big Boys Toys, number 87 is Neil Stratton. Seventh row to the inside, driving out of Garnerville, New York, the Schultz Ford, Curdy's Landscaping, number 21M is Big Brother Bob McGannon. And alongside of him in the Todd Robards Contracting, Gin Trucking, number 3 out of Avoca, New York, is Jacob Gin. Row number 8 to the inside, driving out of Georgetown, Delaware, the Grebe Construction, Leah Anderson, Caldwell Banker, number 33 is Sean Metz. And alongside of him, out of Cream Ridge, New Jersey, the IHOP Chambers Overhead Door, number 5C is Steve Davis. 17th starting spot out of Three Rivers, Quebec, Canada, in the Genic Subway, Bellemere Excavating, number 35 is Francois Bellemere. And alongside of him, out of Roscoe, New York, the Quality Forestry Products, TJC Paving, number 28 is Mike Trouchold. And rounding out the field, he hails out of Ransomville, New York, in the National Maintenance Contracting Corporation, St. Lawrence Radiology, number 25. It's Run Rudolph, Eric Rudolph.
For those of you tuning in at home on Flow Racing, we're getting a couple of raindrops here at the track again, so we're going to keep the cars under caution in case you're wondering why we didn't go green right away. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you. You've been very excellent here today. Very orderly, very patient, waiting in line when you were doing the autographs. We cannot say thank you enough to John Snyder. He's been here since before noon today, did the luncheon from 12:30 to 1:30 and signed autographs for nearly 2 hours, meeting all of you, the racing family. He's part of our racing family. As we mentioned, he does race the B-modified division, races the modified division in Louisiana. He is a racer just like we are. We thank him for being a part and being our Grand Marshal here at Cherokee Speedway, the place your mama warned you about. And our first experience with John on the Short Track Super Series, and a magnificent opening to our program tonight. Going to give the thumbs up, thumbs down now from the drivers to one of our on-track officials. Again, we had practice here Thursday night, qualifying heat races last night. These are the drivers that did not finish in the top 5 spots in the 4 qualifiers last night. They drew for their starting spots, then ran the 4 20-lap qualifiers last night. Top 5 from each of those qualified, so we have 20 already locked into the feature. We'll run 2 B mains and qualify 5 more out of each, putting 30 starters into tonight's 50-lap A main, which pays a whopping $25,000 to win. We completed 3 modified events in the month of February. And they were all at Alltech Raceway in the Sunshine Swing, February 9th. Matt Shepard winning over Billy Pouch Jr. and Mark Johnson February 10th. Larry White getting his first series win over Eric Rudolph and Billy Pouch Jr. on February 11th. Michael Maresca his first series win over Larry White and Eric Rudolph. 602 Sportsman Division drivers. They were on the program as well at All Tech for the Sunshine Swing. February 9th, the winning driver Steve Davis over Jeff Watson and Dylan Madsen. February 10th, Scott Hitchens over Tom Princiata and Joe Toth. February 11th was Michael Ballestero over Dylan Madsen and Alex Bell. Looks like our precipitation leaving up, so we're going to give them a couple quick laps here to make sure the track is worked in. We have had 28 different racetracks host a short track Super Series event in 131 events completed. Georgetown Speedway with the most at 17. Afton Speedway has 11. Orange County Fair Speedway, Thunder Mountain Speedway with 10. Port Royal Speedway, Accord, and Delaware International Speedway each with 7. All Tech Raceway, Bridgeport Motorsports Park with 6. Woodhull Raceway, Baps Motor Speedway, Big Diamond Speedway with 5. Fonda, New Egypt, and Outlaw Speedway with 4. Chatham or Super B Speedway, Arclatech Speedway, Penn Can, and Bubba Raceway Park with 3. 2 races at Tri-County Racetrack, Albany, Saratoga, and 1 event at the Revolution Park, Boot Hill in Louisiana, Utica Rome, Bloomsburg, Sealands Grove, Potomac, and 1 here at Cherokee. But tonight when we get the feature on the track, it'll be number 2. Stuart Friesen, the all-time leading feature winner. He has 33 career modified wins with our series. Matt Shepard with 22. Ryan Godown, Anthony Perego have 8. Billy Pouch Jr., Ryan Watt, Andy Bicchetti with 6. Danny Creedon has 5. Eric Rudolph 4. 2 wins for Jeff Strunk, Matt Williamson, Mike Guler, Jordan Watson, David Van Horn Jr., and Rick Laubach. Single winners, Michael Maresca, Larry White, Mike Mahaney, Max McLaughlin, Steve Payne, Richie Pratt Jr., Billy Decker, Mark Johnson, Billy Van Pelt, Jeremy Smith, Jerry Higby Jr., Rusty Smith, Dwayne Howard, Jimmy Horton. Looks like we're getting ready to go. Chad Cook, Wade Hendrickson, Tommy Meyer, Brian Malcolm, Jackie Brown Jr., Sean Walker, and Danny Johnson. Here we go, Cherokee Speedway, B-Main number 1. Anthony Perego will lead the way into the corner. Jimmy Phelps to the inside, going by the 27 of Jeremy Pitts. Down the back straightaway now we got Mike Guler battling with Pitts for the number 3 spot. 3, make it 4 wide, almost into the corner.
Guler and Pitts made a little bit of contact. Billy Decker trying to get out of the fight. Guler and Pitts still going at it. Guler slides up the racetrack. Here comes Billy Decker. They're battling 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Decker will come out of the shuffle on the bubble. He's got the 55 of Brett Haas trying to reel him in.
Down the straightaway, Pitts keeping Guler at bay. Pitts is in 3rd, Guler's 4th. Billy Decker now fifth with a hot load of race cars behind him. We've got Haas, Hurd, and Adam Pearson next in line behind Billy Decker.
Battle for the lead up front. Perego now with Jimmy Phelps breathing down his back, breathing down his neck. Jimmy Phelps, the Baldwinsville Bandit, making his short track Super Series debut this weekend. Anthony Perego, a multi-time winner in the short track Super Series, now trying to creep away from Phelps. Riding in third is Jeremy Pitts. Mike Guler and Billy Decker still your top five.
Anthony Perego continuing to lead the way over the 98H of Jimmy Phelps into the corner. Jeremy Pitts keeping Guler at bay. Brett Haas now making a play on the 91 of Billy Decker.
Haas reeling in Billy Decker. How desperate will Brett Haas get? The Sheriff driving in his Dave Prime Mavic Tools number 55. Haas, a winner last year at the Fonda Speedway. As we come to cross flags halfway this time by, how desperate can you get for one of those transfer spots to the Rebel 50?
Mike Guler moving in now with Jeremy Pitts. A battle side by side off of turn 2 for that number 3 spot, and Billy Decker is being hounded now by the 55 Brett Haas. Haas right behind Decker out of 4.
Right in front of them, a battle for third as Guler showed a nose to the inside of Jeremy Pitts. Pitts shut the door on him, and all of a sudden Decker and Haas are closing in on that 2-car battle, and don't count out Marshall Hurd yet, Jeff. We might have a 5-car battle shaping up for third as Pitts has Guler on his bumper.
Yes, he does. Jeremy Pitts is feeling the heat from Mike Guler a couple of times, but Billy Decker now is moving in on Mike Guler.
Back and forth they go, one car reeling in another. Everybody trying to find a way to make a pass, make some moves, and get themselves into a transfer spot. Decker trying to get off the bubble. Perego and Phelps are comfortable. Pitts, Guler, and Decker are not.
Heading through the corner now. Anthony Perego's got the lead. Mike Guler is in trouble. Mike Guler in the number 2 in trouble in turn number 2.
From bad to worse for the 2A of Mike Guler. Guler, the Boyertown, Pennsylvania native, a 2-time short track Super Series winner in his career. Jeff Guler was riding in a redraw spot last night in his qualifier inside of 5 laps to go. He blew a right rear tire. Tonight in the Consi, riding in a transfer spot with 3 laps to go. Something letting go on that 2A. An absolutely rotten weekend down south here for Mike Guler.
Yeah, Mike had a fast car right out of the gate, even in practice on Thursday night, and he cannot catch a break. And remember, no provisionals tonight. You got to finish in a qualifying spot to make the main event for that 50-lap main event. Again, $80,000 in purse money between our qualifiers last night and the 50-lap feature for this opening race of the Hallmark International Elite Series event, part of the Bob Hilbert Sportswear Short Track Super Series fueled by Sunoco. Another B main after this, the 2 heat races for the Sharp Mini Late models, and then our 50-lap modified feature.
And Jeff, you know, we've got a tale of 2 stories of guys who have had bad luck. Anthony Perego, his bad luck came early in the week. He broke in practice, got into the first turn wall. Then he drew 75 for his heat race yesterday. But after that, it's gone much, much better for Perego. He was very strong in his heat race, got the pole here for his B main, and he's now leading it. Mike Guler, on the other hand, his week started strong. He drew well, was fast in practice, but since then it's gone downhill. Perego's in a transfer spot. Guler's on the hook and likely headed back to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, unfortunate for Mike. One of the great drivers. He has really upped his game, of course, spreading his wings, so to speak, running the PA 358 circuit for quite a number of years, has been branching out, running other things, doing the Short Track Super Series circuit, and he has definitely improved his game, winning a championship at Grandview, then the next year Big Diamond, then last year at New Egypt, so he's been spreading himself out, doing well in the Short Track Super Series as well. Well, Billy Decker was getting pressure from behind for that last qualifying spot with the demise of Guler. Brett Haas in the Dave Prime Mac Tools 55 will now move up a notch, but Marshall Hurd is right there. Ronnie Johnson behind him and Adam Pearson. Leaders on the top. Here they come.
Jeremy Pitts gets squirrely on the restart. He gets into Hurd. Hurd goes around. Pitts will drive away. Heartbreak for Marshall Hurd. Jeff, it looked like he'd gotten 2 cars on the restart, and something happened to Jeremy Pitts in front of him, and Hurd tagged him. And, Jeff, it looks like we've got a replay for those at home on Flow Racing.
Yeah, what a heartbreaker. Marshall wasn't in a qualifying spot yet. Here comes the Sunoco Race Fuels instant replay on Flow Racing for those watching at home going into the turn. Pitts went right up the racetrack. He went right across about 3 lanes. It looked like the car pushed on him going to the corner. That got everybody messed up. Derek McGrew Jr.'s got a right front wheel problem. It's a flat tire. Whether or not the brake locked up, I don't know. Looks like it might be just a flat, but something may have been bent in the right front wheel of Derek McGrew Jr. They got all jammed up going into the corner. And a heartbreaker for Marshall Hurd out of Whitney Point, New York. The intensity, Chris, you can see the intensity. These guys trying so desperately to make those top 5 spots. So Borrego, again, on the Short Track Super Series, we do double file restarts in qualifying all the way to the end. After 1 lap is in, leader is lane choice. Our leader, the 44, Anthony Borrego, is picking the top lane. 98, Jimmy Phelps on the bottom. 27, Jeremy Pitts. 91, Billy Decker. Brett Haas in the 55 will now move to 5th. And the 2RJ, Ronnie Johnson, is alongside. 1 more B-Main drivers and Sharp Mini Late models. Your heats will be next. Please be ready. Thank you.
We want to remind everybody as well, we have apparel on sale for our Northeast Dirt Modifieds. The Short Track Super Series merchandise trailer is located on the first turn side of the grandstands right in front of the men's bathroom. We've also got Billy Pouch Jr. shirts available here right below the tower. Max McLaughlin, his apparel trailer is down in turn 1. And Stuart Friesen, his wife Jessica Friesen, is selling down in turn 1 as well. Stuart Friesen apparel. So all kinds of apparel available for you South Carolina, North Carolina natives who enjoy our Northeast Dirt Modifieds. Feel free to head on over to the Short Track Super Series apparel trailer or one of the several drivers selling here in the grandstand area. Lights are out. We're going to go green this time. Borrego's your leader. He's on the top. He's got Phelps alongside. Then it's Pitts and Decker, Haas, and Ronnie Johnson looking to make the show.
Charging back to green on the restart. Here comes Ronnie Johnson. We got a car sideways down here. Brett Haas. Haas was in a qualifying spot. He's sideways, and he spins. Wow. Brett Haas in a qualifying spot, now in trouble in turn number 1.
You know, Jeff, Brett Haas just did the exact same thing that Jeremy Pitts did. I don't know if the Flow Racing guys got it. It almost looks like there might be a wet spot down there in turn number 1, just a small spot that if you... It looks like it may just be a small spot that if you catch wrong, you lose the front end of the race car and it takes you across, because Haas just did the exact same thing that Jeremy Pitts did on the prior restart. He shot across the racetrack. Unfortunately for him, he was the one to go around.
Well, one guy that didn't want to see that caution was Ronnie Johnson in the 2RJ. He had 2 cars gained on that restart, but they'll all go back to where they were. We do not advance another lap. We have scored 9, 3 to go. 9 down, 3 to go.
And now all of a sudden that 6th position has been one that guys have tried to take advantage of. It looked like Marshall Hurd was going to take advantage of it a few restarts ago. He got washed up in a wreck. Ronnie Johnson, as you mentioned, Jeff, was going to take advantage of it there on that last restart. Now it's Adam Pearson's turn. Can he make something happen? Can we get through 1 and 2? Green flag, we're back on our way.
Charging back to green. Billy Decker's on the outside of Jeremy Pitts, can't get in. And Adam Pearson putting the pressure on Ronnie Johnson. Johnson not getting the restart he did the last time. He's now in protection mode, trying to hold on to 5th.
Parallel sticks, 2 to go this time by for Perego. Phelps right there. Pitts, Decker, and Ronnie Johnson in the 5 transfer spots. Pearson and Doug Snyder trying to reel him in. Meanwhile, RJ going right back to work. He's trying to reel in Billy Decker and get off the bubble.
Jimmy Phelps running second behind leader Anthony Perego down the straightaway. 2 white flag, final lap in B main number 1. Decker putting the pressure on Pitts, followed by the 2 RJ Ronnie Johnson. Final lap for Anthony Perego.
Working through 3 and 4. His week started rotten. It's turned around since. He'll pick up the win in B main number 1. Anthony Perego wins B main number 1. Jimmy Phelps, Jeremy Pitts, Billy Decker, and Ronnie Johnson have qualified for the Rebel 50. 33 of Sean Metz got up into the fence down there in 1 and 2. He might need some help from the wrecker crew, but the checkered is out pending the scales. Jeff, we've got 5 more guys to the show.
Yes, we do. 44 Anthony Perego winning, 98H Jimmy Phelps second, 27 Jeremy Pitts third, 4th the 91 Billy Decker, and 5th to the 2 RJ of Ronnie Johnson. B main number 2 will line up this way. Pole position, driving the Hallmark International 43, Jimmy Horton. Alongside of him, the Scott Hamlin Racing SNS Asphalt Pavements 3J Mark Johnson. Second row inside, the Dryden Racing Development 35, LJ Lombardo. And alongside the Fire Management Control of Pennsylvania 84Y is Alex Jankowski. Third row inside, the Wild Animal Farm 11T Jeff Taylor. And alongside the Friendly Ford 14J Alan Johnson. Fourth row to the inside, driving the Amwell Auto Body, Flemington Car and Truck Country. Fiorino and Sons Contracting 29 is Ryan Cratchin. Alongside, driving the Rent Equip Party Central 97, Matt Smith. Fifth row inside, the Airfish Automotive 119, WB James. And alongside of him, the PMC Race Car St. Lawrence Radiology number 20 is the Thrilling David Schilling. Sixth row inside, the Hallmark International D-Nail Excavating 55, Allison Rickey. And alongside the Steve Huff Motorsports Rider Racing 21A is Peter Britton. Seventh row inside, the Hallmark International 15M, Daniel Morgevitz. Outside in the George Hudicone Adirondack Auto Tony Monaco Landscaping 35 is Mike Mahaney. Row 8 inside, driving the Ace Material 6, Matt Stangl. Outside the 88C, that will be the Kroll Heating and Air Conditioning. Clay Realty G-Force Quick Change Gears number 88C of Jared Umbenhauer. Final row, the Trailer Country 66M Corbin Miller, and the Nival Plumbing and Heating number $18 of Sean Beardsley. Those are your eligible starters. Again, 12 laps. We will qualify 5.
Jeff, update on the lineup. The 35 LJ Lombardo getting pushed back to his trailer. He was unable to fire, so Lombardo will not start the B main. We will cross them over. So from 4th on back, all moving up a spot for their transfer spot. 12 more laps, 5 more to the show. The final 5 cars will transfer to the Rebel 50. We're green.
B-Main number 2 underway. Alex Jankowski battling down the back straightaway side by side with Jimmy Hortner. 3 wide on the back straightaway now. Peter Britton not getting a good lap as he loses a couple of spots, battling with Mike Mahaney.
We got one facing the wrong direction on the back straightaway. We complete lap number 1, and down there in turn number 3 is the $18 sign of Sean Beardsley. So is the $18 sign of Sean Beardsley, the car around on the entrance of turn number 3.
All right, complete restart, no lap score. We did not get everybody across. Complete restart, 12 laps ahead. Here they come. Off the corner, green is out. Horton and Johnson. Johnson crosses Horton over. He'll go to the inside. Down the back straightaway, Alan Johnson in the 14th. Battling down the back straightaway with Jeff Taylor, Ryan Krachin, and Alex Jankowski.
Jimmy Horton went to school on that last restart. He jumped, got in front of Mark Johnson, and he'll set the pace. Johnson, Jankowski, Johnson, the top four. Jeff Taylor, meanwhile, is under fire. Here comes Ryan Krachin. Here comes the thrilling David Schilling.
Out of the corner, it remains Jimmy Horton with the lead. We got Schilling battling with Krachin off the corner further back in the pack. Schilling and Krachin got together, they back out of it. Matt Smith is right there with him, battling down the back straightaway as well. Meanwhile, up front, it remains Horton 1, Mark Johnson 2, Jankowski and Alan Johnson.
Top four pretty well settled in right now. Alan Johnson a groove lower, everybody else up on that cushion. Jeff Taylor rides in the fifth and final transfer spot. Ryan Krachin. Krachin was one of the quickest cars on Thursday night in practice. He drew poorly. He's got work to do. He's going to try and run down the 11T of Jeff Taylor. Taylor enters on the bottom. Krachin up against that cushion down in 1 and 2. Krachin driving like a madman, trying to reel in Jeff Taylor.
Yeah, Ryan Krachin 1 spot away. He and David Schilling were battling for several laps after they brushed together out of turn 4 2 laps ago. Schilling losing ground on Krachin. Krachin desperately trying to catch Jeff Taylor. Meanwhile, a sensational one, the veteran, Jimmy Horton leading the way over Mark Johnson.
6 down, 6 to go. Jimmy Horton setting the pace here at the halfway point. Mark Johnson, Alex Jankowski, and Alan Johnson have settled in. So is the 11T of Jeff Taylor. Krachin continuing to search, try and reel him in. Taylor running that middle groove. Krachin's up against the cushion down in 1 and 2. Everybody searching. Taylor trying to hang on to it.
Into the turn, Horton leading the way down the back straightaway. 1 career short track Super Series win. That came in the Melvin Joseph Memorial several seasons back. Mark Johnson, the new addition to our short track Super Series lineup, running in second, followed by Alex Jankowski.
Jimmy Horton comfortable out in front. Jeff Krachin looks like he's getting a little closer. He just made a mistake that time down in 1 and 2. The car pushed hard, but he got a good run off of 2. Krachin certainly starting to cut into that gap between himself and Jeff Taylor. Does he have enough time? We've got 9 complete, 3 to go. Krachin's within a couple of car lengths.
Charging down the straightaway. Further back in the pack, we've got Jared Umbenhauer, Allison Rickey, and David Schilling battling. 2 to go now on your leader, Jimmy Horton, heading into the corner. Krachin is getting closer and closer to Jeff Taylor. He's caught him as they reach turn number 1.
Taylor changed his line that time. He entered higher on the last lap, this time a little lower. Krachin was trying to set him up for a slide job. Krachin is there on the back bumper. White flag one more time around for Horton. Johnson, Jankowski, and Johnson. Taylor and Krachin going to do battle into 1 and 2.
Yeah, they go. Final lap. Taylor's got the spot. Krachin's digging hard as they head down the back. Checkered flag, BB number 2 will wave for Jimmy Horton. Mark Johnson, Jankowski, Alan Johnson next across the line. And the last qualifying spot will go to Jeff Taylor. Krachin coming up 1 short, followed by Schilling, Rickey, Umbenhauer, Smith, James, Britton, and Mahaney.